I'm continuing my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I'm reading in a chronological order of events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around a bit as I move along. Right now, my last video was in 1 Kings chapter 13. The kingdoms are now divided, and this is in the story of Jeroboam, king of the northern tribe of Israel. A prophet came up from Judah, told him that he basically told him he was being rejected, that in the future God would raise up Josiah and Josiah would basically execute the false priests on this altar, and then as a sign destroys the altar and leaves. He is commanded not to eat bread, drink water, or stay in Israel. He's got to go back to Judah, but another prophet invites him over for a meal, and he eventually agrees. So we pick this up in verse 20. And it came to pass, as they sat at the table, that the word of the Lord came unto the prophet that brought him back. And he cried unto the man of God that came out of Judah, saying, Thus saith the Lord, Forasmuch as thou hast disobeyed the mouth of the Lord, and hast not kept the commandment which the Lord thy God commanded thee, but camest back, and hast eaten bread and drunk water in the place of which the Lord did say to thee, Eat no bread and drink no water, thy carcass shall not come unto the sepulchre of thy fathers. So, the man is now being cursed. He delivered God's message, he was all good, but he allowed himself to be tempted into eating. He was supposed to go up, and I'll say, the journey from Jerusalem up to Bethel and back was probably a day or two. So if he's not supposed to eat or drink, he's fasting during this trip. This is at least a 24-hour fast, possibly up to 48 hours. And so he was told, the older prophet told him that an angel said to invite you over to dinner. And so he went. And now, after dinner, he's saying, look, because you disobeyed God, you're not going to make it home. You will die before you get home. That's what it means. You will not be buried. You shall not come unto the sepulchre of thy fathers. You will die in a foreign land and not be buried with your fathers. A great dishonor among Israel to not be buried with your fathers. Let us continue, verse 23. And it came to pass, after he had eaten bread, and after he had drunk, that he saddled for him the ass, to wit, for the prophet whom he had brought back. And when he was gone, a lion met him by the way, and slew him, and his carcass was cast in the way. And the ass stood by it. The lion also stood by the carcass. And behold, men passed by, and saw the carcass cast in the way, and the lion standing by the carcass. And they came and told it in the city where the old prophet dwelt. And when the prophet that brought him back from the way heard thereof, he said, It is the man of God, who was disobedient unto the word of the Lord. Therefore the Lord hath delivered him unto the lion, which hath torn him, and slain him according to the word of the Lord, which he spake unto him. Okay, first of all, the ass. This is, remember, the old prophet, when he heard about what happened with the destruction of the altar in Bethel and everything, he saddled his ass and went and met this guy, brought him back to his house. Now he gives him the ass. He sets him on the ass so he can ride home. Because the prophet from Judah apparently had walked the entire way and was walking back. So he gives him the ass. He goes off. The lion kills him. And his body just lays there. People notice it, but they don't want to do anything because there's a lion standing next to it. So now the prophet hears about it, and now we hear it. Verse 27. And he spake to his son, saying, Saddle me the ass. And they saddled him, and he went and found his carcass cast in the way, and the ass and the lion standing by the carcass. The lion had not eaten the carcass, nor torn the ass. And the prophet took up the carcass of the man of God, and laid it upon the ass, and brought it back. And the old prophet came to the city to mourn and to bury him. So the lion, this is definitely, the lion's not even attacking, he's not eating the body, and he's not attacking the donkey. This is an odd situation. Why? Only because God has ordained it this way. So now the prophet takes him back to the city to bury him. Verse 30. And he laid his carcass in his own grave, and they mourned over him, saying, Alas, my brother! And it came to pass, after he had buried him, that he spake to his sons, saying, When I am dead, then bury me in the sepulchre wherein the man of God is buried. Lay my bones beside his bones. For the saying which he cried by the word of the Lord against the altar in Bethel, and against all the houses of the high places which are in the cities of Samaria, shall surely come to pass. So he buries him in his own grave, his own sepulchres. He wants to be buried with him because they are both prophets. He acknowledges that they are both prophets. And he confirms the prophecy that the man from Judah gave. Let's finish this verse 33. After this thing, Jeroboam returned not from his evil way, but made again of the lowest of the people priests of the high places. Whosoever would, he consecrated him, and he became out of the priests of the high places. And this thing became sin unto the house of Jeroboam, even to cut it off and to destroy it from off the face of the earth. So even after all this, Jeroboam doesn't learn his lesson. He continues in his idolatry, and it will be the end of his family and of his dynasty as kings. So we will leave that here, and tomorrow we pick it up in chapter 14.